Well, it is coming. A judge in California has ordered the release of the body camera footage from the October hammer attack on Paul Pelosi, the husband of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. We're told a decision on when that will actually happen, that we'll see the video be released, could take some time. Maybe sometime today. The judge said immediately when this was announced yesterday. We'll bring you that as soon as we get it in. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Josh Hawley made a not-so-subtle dig at the Pelosis with a new bill. It's called the Preventing Elected Leaders from Owning Securities and Investments Act, or the Pelosi Act for short.
Love it.
The bill would ban members of Congress and their spouses from trading and owning stocks. And it comes after revelations, of course, that last year the Paul Pelosi traded between $1 million and $5 million of stocks for semiconductors just days before Congress allocated $52 million to that same industry. The stocks were later sold at a loss to remove the appearance of impropriety. You can't erase the facts, though.
Exactly. And this comes on the heels of the Pelosi's. Remember that antitrust lawsuit against Google that was just announced? They traded Google stocks. So it makes sense, like Dan Crenshaw said, you want to be able to better yourself and grow your portfolio. But at the same time, what happened to selfless service? You know, Trump left office a poorer man than he did when he went into the office of the presidency. Yet we're seeing so many Congress members leaving with gobs and gobs of wealth. I mean, in my estimation, I think that's not the selfless servant leaders that Americans that we were founded on. You know, we're supposed to be farmers, we're supposed to be citizens first, not looking to engorge ourselves with bigger gobs of money.
So, Dagan, do you think we have enough transparency, though? Because a lot of times what Kyra's talking about is that you find out after the fact what they were doing and what they were trading. Is this an issue about transparency, or does it really need the legislation that Hawley from Missouri is pushing?
No, they need to ban the ownership of and trading of individual stocks, futures, options, anything that could be traded on inside information. And I say that because I've been a financial journalist for almost 30 years, and I have never, ever owned an individual stock. I have always owned mutual funds or exchange traded funds. So you can make perfectly decent investments, and you can remove any appearance of impropriety by not owning individual stocks. I did that by choice because I didn't want it I didn't want it to look bad. They don't give a flying flip. Needs to be forced down their throats.
So how pervasive is this on Capitol Hill?
Sean
I could not disagree with that more. Okay, so first of all, if you have insider information, you can't trade on that. And most members of Congress do not have the kind of information that Nancy Pelosi had and then Paul Pelosi had, and they traded, and to your point, made goo gobs of money. By the way, I never figured out how to do that because I was also poor in Congress, but it seems like a lot of people.
You also have 99 children.
That could be it too.
Wealth in family.
And they're all beautiful.
Thank you. But cash-wise, I didn't figure out how you do it. But you shouldn't pay a price to serve in the Congress. These people have two homes oftentimes. They make $174,000 a year. Let them trade stocks. Let them trade futures. But you can't use inside information. And if you do, the consequence, Dagan, I think has to be.
So what are the consequences? Because we knew the Pelosi's were doing it. We knew the Speaker of the House was. So where are the consequences?
It goes to Dagan's point of you have a two-tier system. If you're an elite, the rules don't apply to you. We all know what's happening.
Well, then take it away. Why not take it away?
Or just prosecute her. Right?
But that's not going to happen. They're not going to prosecute an 80-some-year-old woman at this point.
Well, they should.
I mean, right? God bless her. I want to live long, too. But they've been making money forever. This isn't breaking news.
No, I know. But we pass laws, make things illegal, and have penalties for them for a reason. And they should apply to everybody. The Nancy Pelosi's of the world should not be excluded from that. So we're creating new laws because we're not implementing.
I feel like I'm on your show right now where I'm sitting between you and Dagan, because Dagan made an excellent point. When you're blind,
he was furrowing his brow at me.
I mean, but what you said though about mutual funds, that means it's a conglomerate of things. Nobody really gets a tip on any one thing within that mutual stock.
You can't inside trade.
So why not do that?
Right, Sean. Why? It's not a hardship.
This is my happy place right now.
You still get to invest. You don't get to speculate. is what it is.
America's
And if that
speculating.
is such a hardship on you, Nancy, and your husband, then leave.
Because my point is, just most members of Congress only have a little bit of money, and they might be on Robinhood and they're trading a few stocks here and there, having fun, and they're not using inside information. They don't have most of this.
Would
stuff.
anybody
Let's
ever
dig into
describe
that for a
Nancy
second.
Pelosi
So the
as
average
Robinhood?
congressional member
Maybe.
buys usually about $5,000 to $6,000 worth of stock.
Yeah, that was
In
small.
contrast to Pelosi's husband, who buys $500,000
There
worth
you
of
go.
stock. So remember, just before you guys had a hearing, a congressional subsidy hearing on chip manufacturing, he bought multi-million-dollar purchases of chips at the time, right? And then we talked about where it was sold to assuage the appearance for optics. Essentially, he was caught, and they cared more about their presentation than they do about the service and the servitude of their position. So I think where this bill navigates that line between being a servant and also allowing congressmen to yes, take part in capitalism is that 6-month mark. And I think that's the important thing, because bottom line, the Pelosis have benefited time and time again, multiple purchases before these stock trade, multiple times. And Representative Comer even pointed out, he said, it's another bad example of Nancy Pelosi's leadership. It's not the first time her husband has done this.
No.
He does it repeatedly, and he says, it's not about just that disparate part that I talked about, the difference in the cost, but the fact that they continue to do it. You make a huge profit, you know the stock's going to move, and he said this is another example of the media turning a blind eye to Nancy Pelosi's bad behavior and unethical behavior. So to your point, Harris, when you say, they're not going to prosecute an 80-year-old, and you say you should, that's exactly right. If someone's breaking the law, it doesn't matter how old they are, but the media is who's been complicit because they've normalized these guys engorging themselves
and the
at the
deals.
behest of the
And the
American
reason I
people.
pointed out that she's an octogenarian is for how long they have been doing this. And if
Great
anybody
point.
thinks
So
that you
great.
and your spouse, when your spouse does something, doesn't touch you, well, then she ought to really make that point very, very clear. Because for all the reasons that both of you just enumerated, it looks like there's something unfair going on. And that ought to be enough for her to come forward.
How about just people in leadership, Sean?
Fine.
Let's break the bread.
Fine with that. Peace.
Did we just work out a compromise?
Peace on the couch.
Love it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.